Just genuinely caring about the success of your customer or client, it's one of the best levers for growth, because I think ultimately, whether this client recognizes it or not in the long run, clients are going to recognize that, we really care about their success and we are working hard to ensure that they are successful. If you're going through hell, keep going. This quote is often attributed to Winston Churchill as he was urging on British troops to keep fighting despite overwhelming odds during World War II. And while I don't feel like I am exactly going through hell, it's definitely a very stressful moment. And I'd like to tell you about the continued climb and progress so far in this video, which is day 6 of the $1 million profit per month challenge that we've put together. I'm making these videos, if you haven't seen any of the older videos, to hold myself accountable for just being consistent, being focused, reflecting, and sharing the journey, giving you real, actionable, relatable tactics, and sharing the story of how we are growing as a business and growing out of a little bit of a dip that we ventured into. So I want to give you the raw, relatable form of that, and that's what these videos are for. Some of the other videos are going to be more topical, but this one, for example, is more of a check-in. And in it, I'm just going to be telling you where we're at, what are the challenges that we're facing as we make the changes that we need to make to catalyze growth that's going to get us to $1 million in profit per month as a company. Probably as a tech-enabled service, I'm estimating that we'll need to achieve about $5 million in revenue to get that, because let's say that we have net 20% cash flow positive or net 20% profit margins, you can say month to month, or positive cash flow. So we'll need about $5 million in month to achieve this goal. And to achieve $5 million revenue per month, we're going to need to provide an operation as a company that is serving simultaneously hundreds of client accounts. Now, in the past, in 2021, we previously reached 1.2 million in gross revenue for the year of 2021. And growing into that year, from July 2020 to March of 21, we grew 936%, from starting at 10K at the low to breaking over $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue for March of 21. And that year, as I said, we broke 7 figures for the first time as a business, averaging about 100K revenue per month in gross revenue. Super proud of that. We're completely bootstrapped, but this challenge is about taking it to the next level and doing whatever it takes to learn what we need to learn in order to service many, many more clients, have a much bigger impact as a company, and achieve our mission on a broader scale, which is accelerate creativity and the entrepreneurial spirit. So at day 6 here, just to kind of get right into let's put our hands in the mud. Let me not just talk in terms of mission. And I don't want you to get the idea that I'm just going to talk about lofty ideals. I want to get into the nitty gritty with you here so that you can learn and hopefully maybe be somewhat entertained. Are we going to do it? Are we going to fly or fail? Let's find out. So getting into flow of it by day 6 here, the daily muscle of writing content that becomes sort of the basis for these videos, that daily muscle is actually really starting to form. Days 2 and 3, because I've done this before. I've done a lot of content before, but the difference with this is that I'm committed to being very consistent with it. And part of the reason also why we're doing this and why we're going to be putting out these videos, our strategy is these videos are kind of the cornerstone. Then they're going to be cut up and be the basis for creating articles that are on our blog, potentially newsletters as well to our audience, and also social media posts across not just YouTube, but Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. With that being said, we have a lot of silver bullet syndrome, let's just have AI do it, can someone else do it? Or maybe you have a perfectionist mindset where you're just sort of paralyzed by overanalysis in terms of thinking it has to be right, it has to be done right, and then you never launch, you never get the thing out. And or you go the opposite direction, you outsource it to AI, or you just you don't adopt a higher standard in terms of quality or taste, and so the content that you do put out there is it's sloppy, or it's AI slop, which is just as bad or even worse, because no one's going to pay attention to that. And the social media algorithms, they're in our corner, right? Fundamentally, if you put out content that it predicts and that it gathers data slowly over time to see, hey, the engagement rate is pretty good for this, They want to get that. The platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, all of them, they are in our corner only in the sense that like it's a symbiotic relationship. So if you produce something that is interesting, helpful, engaging, they're going to want to put it in front of people. Okay, the algorithms are biased to want to help us if we are helping, them in terms of their engagement rate on their platform. So I feel myself starting to learn. I feel it getting a little bit easier. The last 3 days in particular, I have my own like daily dome task system that I have printed out, and I've refined it over time. It's very structured, and it in large part I credit so much of this as one of the key reasons why my company would grow so quickly at certain points in the journey, is whenever I was committed to doing this. But I've become even more committed to where I'm not just making a plan the night before and doing it step by step in order at the time that I say I'm going to do it and aiming to get it done on time. I'm not actually stopping working every day because I just wanted to push myself just to see like, what if I didn't stop working until I did every goal with integrity in terms of like what was written down and what was planned. Objectively, I've been extremely productive. And right now we're racking the shotgun. So at the time of recording this video, like our content hasn't gone out yet, but I am feeling a sense of accomplishment and a sense of momentum building. So the work itself is becoming rewarding. And that I think was one of the early goals that I knew that I would have to accomplish if this is actually going to work. Is the amount of work that I'm doing sustainable right now, where I am working, literally working, like including like not counting breaks. Like right now I haven't had breakfast. I'm kind of delaying breakfast. I'm trying to push back the sleep routine so I can wake up earlier and blah, 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 and get into a better routine with the schedule that I have planned, and then actually have a little bit of downtime before sleep at night. But up until now, the last week, I've been working from the time that I've gotten up till the time that I've gone to sleep. It's solid 10 to 12 hours per day. And I'm hoping that on Saturday, I can actually take the day off. I have like a social event planned, and I have sort of structured it so that we'll have a day off. I'm also sometimes doing 2 video plans or scripts per day. So that way I sort of have like a bank account built up of content. And if I ever need to miss a day or skip a day, which I haven't, with the exception of Saturdays, which will just be off days, that's fine. Just before writing down my notes for this video, I came up, it was just sort of like, I don't know, something about like, I guess, creativity and the brain and sleeping and the habit, and thinking like, well, what content can I make? I think my brain has like figured out some sort of creative idea right before sleep and then synthesized it while I was sleeping. An idea for a viral video commercial. So not just a video like this, but something that's a little more, production heavy. And I think it's meant to be like a sarcastic sort of like Dollar Shave Club type of video commercial. It looks like it will be maybe 3 minutes long. I don't know if that's going to be too long for it to actually go viral, but I could see this doing really well. There's like all this hype about AI. And with Grobo, we're providing an all-in-one team of human professionals with different specialized skill sets at a fraction of the price of hiring one full-time employee, even if that employee is a remote worker or remote freelancer full-time. So it gives tremendous value. It's an all-in-one, marketing fulfillment team for a flat monthly rate, no contracts. And we're positioning kind of like against that. It's kind of like, human talent versus AI. And it's done in a sarcastic way that I don't want to like kind of spill the beans just yet. I think maybe like you tune in, or maybe I'll reveal more of it in upcoming videos. But I think it's kind of funny and smart and relevant. And it's going to take time for us to produce it though. But we're starting to rack the shotgun. I think that's the key point. In other news, partly because the issue that I mentioned earlier this week, our payments from our payment processor have been held up. And so we're trying to figure that out because that affects us as a company with just, constant cash flow coming in, going out. We have a formal payroll system, so that's not good. And it is stressful, but I am taking action, and I look forward to sharing with you on that more later after it's solved. But in the moment, what can I say other than it's stressful and I'm taking action to solve it? If that's interesting to you, stay tuned. I'll give you more on that in the future. But it's kind of like just on that front, it's kind of going through the suck, I would call it at the moment. And someone who's close to me called it, Matt, hey, it's just a blip. Just keep going. You're doing the right things. And I believe the person is right. And I'm really starting to feel it, observe it. I'm not trusting it. I'm cautious. I was feeling cautiously optimistic yesterday. The fact that the payment processor is still not depositing the funds that we've earned and the payment processor is Stripe. So Stripe, not a big fan of you guys right now. Not at all. Hopefully they fix it soon. We've seen an uptick in sales. Like we are seeing signups for our $7 for 7-day trial, which we've announced is going away because we think it just cheapens the service a little bit too much. We've had it for many years. It's helped increase the conversion rate, but it's time to get rid of it. I think we want to position ourselves as a little more premium. We are raising prices. We did make an announcement that we're going to raise prices. From the action of doing that, as predicted, not all the sales that are coming in are coming from that, but some have. And because people want to lock in the current price that we have. And we saw another client come in yesterday who they've been on our email list for years, they said, for 3 years. And it's just awesome to see that because it's just a reminder that we have this sizable email list that we built up. And yeah, Google traffic isn't great right now because AI is disrupting everything. They put the AI answers at the top of search, so traffic is down for pretty much everyone across the board. But it's working, and what is working, which is launching. So the bottleneck, though, in terms of our goal of getting to $1 million in profit per month, the new bottleneck is forming. It's no longer around okay, Matt, let's get consistent. Let's start producing quality content and then make it better and better. The bottleneck forming now is just getting the content out the door. And so part of the challenge there is then, coordinating the talent on the team in a systematic way so that it's kind of passing, the ball and everyone kind of passes it and does what they're supposed to do with the ball, signs their name and passes it to the next person, whatever that might be. In this case, it's, video production, editing, revision, if any, kind of checking all the boxes there, splicing it into reels, splicing it and reformatting and repurposing it into different posts and images, and then scheduling those posts to go out and then promoting those posts through, cross promotion with other things like our email list or posting it on our blog, for instance, and getting it out the door. And then on top of that, tracking. So we need to have our ear to the ground after that and see, okay, well, what is getting engagement? What is generating impressions? What is not? So doing all of that stuff leading up to the time of posting it in analytics, things are kind of stuck there right now. We're going to allocate more talent and I think we're going to draw out what is the system that we need right now in order to just do this consistently, on a daily basis and get that flywheel really going. Because right now it's producing content and then it kind of goes into the video production bucket. The team just wasn't prepared to start immediately, refining it, refactoring it, repurposing it, publishing it, and then tracking it. So getting it out the door, and promoted, that's the current bottleneck. I look forward to updating you on that soon in terms of the actual implementation. As always, it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration or execution. I already mentioned about the price increase. It kind of feels good too to really be in the trenches. Last night, I was just kind of going over some things in terms of client support and operations. And I saw that a client was emailing us late at night saying, hey, we really need something changed on this graphic design that you guys did for us. Can you please get back to us? And it was after 9 o'clock. It was 9:10 p.m. And so I made the call to literally wake up members of the team. Some of them were already awake, but it was midnight. And because it seemed like this was important to our client's business, they needed this done for a conference they were going to. They had a banner they needed to correct. So I literally called team members and I said, hey, I'm really sorry to wake you up, but this client really needs this. And I just want to be able to be there for them in their time when they really need this. So the team, amazing, they woke up, they helped get this done. It seems like they really appreciate it. And I think this is, the first of many anecdotal stories like that. We literally woke up at midnight as a team to get this done because we care about our client, and just genuinely caring about the success of your customer or client. It's one of the best levers for growth, because I think ultimately, whether this client recognizes it or not in the long run, clients are going to recognize that, we really care about their success and we are working hard to ensure that they are successful. So the funny video commercial script that I wrote, I predict on that front, if we film it and produce it, that's an if, we have to actually do it, that it will be potentially, I think, extremely successful. We have to work at it though. It's going to take some production time. I have to figure out how to work that into my daily schedule, because mornings right now are focused on writing and recording. But I think we can do it. I think it will be worth it. I think we would learn a lot from doing it. I think it'll be a lot of fun too, because it's just like a fun video. So one thing that I'm doing tactically is I'm gonna start shortening this content so it's just easier for our team to edit, produce, and otherwise catch up. Ads have been stagnating a bit. I somewhat regret this, conversion training program, we'll call it, that we entered into. It just shows that, like, again, the principle that I've learned over and over and over again is build on top of what is working. We had Facebook ads. They were working before we entered into this program. This program promised, oh my God, if you just like inject steroids into the offer in this, and this way, which I'm not saying was wrong. I still think like the insights, and it still could work extremely well, like just the way that we've kind of like jacked up and niched the offer a bit more, and made it more appealing specifically to one specific niche, and made the promise more powerful, more relevant, because we're going after that one niche instead of a bit more broader with our marketing. I still think it could potentially work really well. However, to start that offer actually start testing it, we paused ads on the original campaign that was working, that was bringing in appointments and bookings. And then we activated that campaign, but then we realized we had to redo the video and do it with something just like in a higher quality way. Because it was too amateur, especially as like a company that, we're a marketing and creative company, and it was just kind of like me on Loom on this landing page with the headline. We're like, no, like based on the type of business and the productized tech-enabled service that we offer, we need to do this like all out. We can't just, do it amateur, which is kind of what was suggested by the template that was given to us as part of this training program. But now we've turned back on the original ads, and those ads have kind of like stagnated. They stopped working. It's like, oh, damn it. Like, why? Like they were working fine before. Facebook algorithm, what exactly changed? So that is frustrating, but you can either get frustrated or you can get to work. So I'm getting to work, the team is getting to work, we're iterating, we're gonna keep testing new ad copy. But again, clients are converting. We had another sales conversion yesterday. We had another sign up for one of our larger packages yesterday too. And more leads are in the pipeline and more are continuing to trickle in. I went into something I'll talk more about in a future video. I went into our email funnel, because we have an automated email automation that follows up with client leads who opt in to see our on-demand 20-minute demo video. And I just started finding all these opportunities I can't believe it got to this point, frankly. I'm embarrassed, but I gotta be honest with you. Like there were typos in there and just the wording in certain ways didn't flow. So those have now been fixed. I'm fixing the rest of them today. I fixed like 3 out of the 7 emails. The remaining 4 I'm gonna fix today. And I suspect that that's gonna really improve our conversion rate because we're seeing several leads opt in per day to get that. And I think a lot we're bottlenecking maybe on the emails, frankly, because it's like, if I see typos in something and I'm considering a service like what we offer, that matters a lot. So putting our best foot forward now and caring about those details, I think will have a positive impact, perhaps significantly so, on our conversion rate. Because I think there was a little bit of a bottleneck there, but I think we've opened it up and it'll be done being opened up after my final edits today. So in summary, we're pressing forward. I'm showing up every day. The team is showing up every day, and we're just gonna keep doing and naturally learning and launching. Because marketing, in my opinion, it really only starts when you get in front of someone. Although obviously, like in terms of marketing strategy, you need to first figure out like, how do you get in front of that person? Okay, in our case, we have an email list that is automatically continuously being built every day with people opting in. But the marketing actually only happens when you hit send, when you hit publish on a blog article, when you hit publish on a social media post, when you hit launch on your ad campaign. That's when the rubber meets the road and when it gets in front of someone. Because if that never happens, no one knows that you exist. So whether it's through word of mouth, through Facebook ads, through social media posts, through articles, through emails, whatever it is, you have to first get in front of someone. And that's what we're focused on, is like, let's do that. Let's jack up the number of impressions at the top of our funnel, because so many people just don't know that we exist yet. And we have such a valuable service to offer. It's a tech-enabled, all-in-one marketing fulfillment team of human professionals with 13 skill sets that you can delegate unlimited. In other words, no cap on the limit of tasks and requests that you can submit. And we will get it all done for our clients. And on top of that, we have a 14-day, 2-week satisfaction guarantee just for peace of mind. And it's, again, a fraction of the cost of actually hiring and having to manage your own team with all those headaches involved, sick days, interviews, people flaking out, you needing to hire and retrain new people. You don't deal with any of that. It's just like, what do you want to get done? So super valuable. Operations, which is kind of the other side of the coin of, there's marketing, there's operations. Overall, running very smoothly. Everyone on the team is working hard, on point. I am debating whether or not to pause work on our new AI tool, as I was sort of coaching myself in yesterday's video where I talked about Packard's Law, which is you're more likely to die of indigestion of too much opportunity than starvation for too little. And I'm really on the fence about pausing work on that. That is tough for me. I'm emotionally invested, but also objectively and rationally, I'm invested because I think that this AI tool can combine with our existing done-for-you human talent service and really be the future of the company, because I think a lot of AI is hype. But I've worked with AI from a ground level up, not just applied AI like using ChatGPT or Claude and whatnot, not just applied AI through the APIs or the desktop apps that these companies put out, but also through foundational AI, like building my own AI models from scratch. So it is the future of business. It is the future of work. It is the future of I think creativity in a lot of ways too. But it doesn't mean that human talent is going to get replaced. It's like the nature of work will simply change. Because frankly, I think as humans, we have a need to work. I think work is very fulfilling. And frankly, I feel really fulfilled the more that I've been working lately. But I don't feel very fulfilled right now because I need to go get some food. So we shall see what happens. I will keep you posted. How are you liking these videos, by the way, that we're putting out? Is this check-in type of video helpful to you? How can I improve to give you even more value? Would love to hear from you. Leave a comment, like the video if you liked it. And if you found it valuable, please consider sharing with others. And as always, keep growing and stay focused. I'll talk to you soon.